It looks like Shedeur Sanders will be the Browns' starting quarterback in 2026. We have some major NFL news that leads us to think this will be the case. So buckle up, get ready, Browns fans. But let's get your opinion first. Do you want Shedeur Sanders to start again for Cleveland? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Give me a letter down below. I want to know if you want it to happen. Comment below, and let's talk about it.
Here's what went down. Oregon quarterback Dante Moore shocked the football world by announcing he's staying.
Sanders expressed his support immediately after Kevin Stefanski was fired by the Browns. No one really knows how tough Shedeur's experience with the team has been. After Stefanski was let go on Monday, Shedeur at the season-ending press conference solemnly stated that he would focus on supporting the Browns' next head coach. This comment immediately sparked heated discussion online, with many criticizing him for being cold or heartless. But according to informed sources, Shedeur's rookie season with the Browns was actually extremely difficult. He received little respect or guidance from Stefanski. To improve himself, he had no choice but to practice extra on his own. Throughout the 2025 season, he played despite constant scrutiny, and his quarterback rating fell to the bottom of the league. This frustration once brought him to the brink of collapse. Ultimately, Shedeur took the initiative to contact the team's top management, explaining his situation and experiences. The management then launched an investigation and confirmed that the problems he reported were real.
The Cleveland Browns just got handed their quarterback answer for 2026, and nobody saw it coming this way. What just happened in college football completely changed everything for the Browns' off-season plans. Welcome back, Browns faithful. The NFL landscape shifted dramatically yesterday, and it has massive implications for Cleveland's quarterback situation heading into next season. Let me break down exactly what happened and why this might actually be the best possible outcome for our team.
Much better quarterback class than 26. It's not close. It's only Mendoza this year. There's no more Dante Moore. Forget about it. You're going to have to trade 3 first-round picks to get the Raiders to budge with you at number 6. It's not worth it. Look at 2027's class. Way more options. There's 10 names on your screen right now. Dante Moore and Arch Manning, both going to be available. For my Buckeyes fans, Julian Sayin, an option. Lenore Sellers was supposed to be a top option this year. Sam Levitt, John Mateer. Could go on and on and on. A lot of people like Gina Mayava as well.
Here's what went down. Oregon quarterback Dante Moore shocked the football world by announcing he's staying in college for another year. This is huge because Moore was projected as a top 2 quarterback in this year's draft class. With him out of the picture, the 2026 quarterback class just became one of the weakest we've seen in years. Think about where the Browns are positioned. Cleveland holds the 6th overall pick in the upcoming draft. In a normal year, that might give you a shot at a franchise quarterback, but this isn't a normal year. With Moore gone, there's basically one legitimate first-round quarterback prospect left, and he'll be gone long before Cleveland picks. The reality is simple. Trading up to the 1st overall pick would cost multiple first-round selections, and that price tag just isn't worth it for the available talent. The Raiders hold that top spot, and they're not going to make it easy or cheap for anyone trying to move up. So what does this mean for Cleveland? It means the draft isn't solving the quarterback position this year, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Let me explain why this is actually setting up as the ideal scenario for the Browns. First, let's look at the alternatives. The free agent market for quarterbacks in 2026 is incredibly weak. You're looking at retreads and backup-level players who haven't proven they can lead a team to consistent success. These aren't the guys you build a franchise around. Cleveland has already cycled through similar options in recent years, and we know how that story ends. This brings us back to the young quarterback already on the roster. He's a 5th-round pick on a rookie contract, which means Cleveland has minimal financial investment and maximum flexibility. The team doesn't need to commit big money or trade away premium draft capital. They can evaluate what they have while building around the position. Now let's talk about what we actually saw on the field this season. Despite being thrown into action without proper preparation, there were genuine flashes of potential. We saw mobility that exceeded expectations. We saw the ability to extend plays under pressure. We saw arm talent that can make throws at every level of the field. Here's a telling statistic. Among all NFL quarterbacks this season, he faced pressure on over 40% of his dropbacks. That's the highest rate in the entire league. Yet when you look at how often those pressures turned into sacks, he ranked in the bottom half. What does that tell you? It shows escapability, awareness, and the ability to keep plays alive even when the pocket collapses. The offensive line situation was brutal this year. No quarterback can succeed when they're constantly running for their life. But despite facing more pressure than any other signal caller in the league, he found ways to avoid sacks and create opportunities. That's a skill you can build on. Consider the circumstances he was working under. He never received first-team reps in practice until he was suddenly the starter. He hadn't built chemistry with his receivers through training camp. The offensive game plans were conservative and didn't play to his strengths. He was basically set up to struggle, yet he still showed moments that made you believe. Here's why 2026 could be completely different. For the first time, he'll get a full offseason program as the starter. That means training camp reps with the first team. That means building timing and chemistry with receivers. That means getting comfortable in the offensive system from day one, instead of being thrown in mid-season. The Browns must address the offensive line this offseason. That's non-negotiable. Cleveland needs to use their first-round pick on a premium offensive lineman and be aggressive in free agency. Multiple positions on that line need upgrades. Give any quarterback a clean pocket, and their performance improves dramatically. We've seen it across the league this year. Cleveland is also getting a new head coach, and all signs point to an offensive-minded leader. The previous coaching staff ran conservative schemes that limited explosive plays. A new voice with fresh ideas could unlock the playmaking ability we've seen in flashes. Modern offensive systems are designed to help quarterbacks succeed, and that's what Cleveland needs. The receiving core needs an upgrade too. Adding a legitimate number one target gives any quarterback a security blanket, someone who can win one-on-one matchups and create separation. The current roster lacks that go-to option, and fixing that should be a priority. Look around the NFL at quarterback success stories this season. The Colts revitalized their signal caller by building a strong offensive line. Seattle's quarterback thrived under creative offensive coaching. Chicago's rookie looked better as the season progressed with proper support. The pattern is clear. Quarterbacks need infrastructure, and Cleveland can provide that. Here's the best-case scenario. Cleveland fixes the offensive line, hires an innovative offensive coach, adds weapons, and gives their young quarterback a real chance to develop. If he takes the next step and shows he can be the answer, the Browns have found their franchise quarterback on a fifth-round investment. That's incredible value and keeps championship windows open with cap flexibility. But what if it doesn't work? What if the improvements are made and he still doesn't develop into the answer? That's where the 2027 draft class becomes crucial. Next year's quarterback class is significantly stronger than 2026. Multiple high-level prospects will be available, including top college quarterbacks who aren't entering this year's draft. The 2027 class projects to have at least 10 legitimate quarterback prospects. Compare that to this year, where you're really looking at one top option. If Cleveland needs to draft a quarterback next year, they'll have far better choices and won't need to trade away the farm to move up. This creates a perfect timeline. Give the current young quarterback every possible advantage in 2026. Fix the offensive line, hire the right coach, add playmakers, provide a legitimate opportunity to succeed. If he proves himself, Cleveland has their answer at a bargain price. If not, a much better quarterback draft class awaits in 2027. Think about what Cleveland accomplished to close this season. The team won their final 2 games against division rivals. There's momentum building. The defense remains elite and should be kept intact. Young talent exists across the roster. The foundation is there. Cleveland finished the year on a 2-game winning streak. They haven't lost a game yet in 2026. The vibe is shifting from rock bottom to cautious optimism. A new head coach brings fresh energy. Draft picks will address clear needs. Free agency can fill gaps. The quarterback position doesn't need to be solved in one offseason through desperation. Cleveland can take a measured approach, invest in the infrastructure, give the young player on the roster every tool to succeed, evaluate honestly after a full season, make the big quarterback decision in 2027 if needed, when better options are available. This isn't settling. This is smart roster management. This is maximizing resources and creating multiple paths to success. Cleveland can build a complete team in 2026 while determining if they have their quarterback. That's way better than reaching for a weak prospect or overpaying in free agency. The draft capital stays intact for offensive linemen, weapons, and defensive pieces. The salary cap remains flexible without a massive quarterback contract. The roster gets younger and more talented. And most importantly, Cleveland doesn't mortgage the future on a questionable quarterback prospect in a weak draft class. So, where does this leave Browns fans? Believe it or not, in a pretty solid position. The pathway forward is clearer than it seemed a few weeks ago. Build the foundation in 2026, see what you have at quarterback with proper support, keep your options open for 2027 if needed. The Browns have a top 5 defense that can compete with anyone. They're getting a new coaching staff with fresh ideas. They have draft picks to fix the offensive line and add weapons. They have a young quarterback with intriguing tools who deserves a real chance. And they have flexibility to make a big move in 2027 if necessary. This isn't disaster some people want to make it out to be. This is actually a reasonable plan that could work out beautifully. Football is won in the trenches, and with good coaching, Cleveland can fix both those things this offseason. Everything else flows from there. The future isn't as bleak as the recent past might suggest. There's a plan, there's a timeline, there's reason for optimism if you're willing to look at the bigger picture. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Do you think Cleveland's young quarterback deserves a full season as the starter with proper support around him? Or would you rather the Browns make a different move at the position? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button so you never miss our coverage of the Browns' offseason moves. We'll be tracking every coaching interview, every free agency rumor, and every draft prospect as Cleveland builds toward 2026. What's your prediction for who becomes the Browns' head coach? Leave your answer